Good morning. You can see where I am today. It's a beautiful morning. It's that sunny you can barely see Westminster Bridge. Anyway, I'm down in London for work today, so I usually come down and have a quick sneaky peek at the river. And it gets me very excited and very nervous at the same time. Can you see the swell? That's what makes me nervous. I think this is the the eyes on the goal. Here we are, the bridge, the steps where you'll clamber out after your 125 miles. You'll crawl up the steps and someone will place a beautiful medal on your neck. This is the dream, and then hopefully we will be here in a couple of months' time doing just that. So I better get up to Whitehall for my meeting, but we will be back soon. See you soon.
Hi guys, it's Steve, Emma's husband, here with little Jen, all wrapped up. It's the 3rd of January, it's about 3 degrees. Emma and Amy are doing their training paddle. Marlowe down as far as she fancies it. They've got Frank Lusmore tomorrow, so they won't be pushing it too much. This is just a get used to paddling on the Thames, bit of flow, practice a couple of the portages. So we're currently sat at Bray waiting for them to come down. I've got them on tracker and they should be here in a few minutes, and then it's a bit for us practicing our portaging, and also gives me a chance to find out what they need to work on.
So last night in Cornwall we had a red weather warning and 100-mile-an-hour winds. So I brought the K2 inside. So it's really good call because my garden has been flattened. So I'm really, really glad the boat wasn't out there. So because I brought the boat in, it is now lovely and dry. So my glamorous husband is now fitting the pump for me in the hallway. We shall see how the pump works this weekend.
Hello. Hi. Sunday the 11th of January. We've just come back from a paddle, not a long one today, so we were hoping to get onto the canal, but it's still frozen. It looked quite good, but it's quite windy out, and actually the wind had kind of
pushed a layer of water over the ice.
Blown water over the ice, so it looked on the surface like it was nice and paddleable, and then when we went down with a big stick, it was not. So we went down to the river.
The river's up, there's been a lot of snow up in Wales and all the melt starting to come through, so the river is swirly, bobbly, lots of eddies in places. Yeah. We assessed it before we went out. It's within paddleable with sensible conditions and sensible behaviour. So we didn't push it today. We went up to the local area where we paddle is up to Beverley. We didn't quite go up to the weir because we knew it would be busier up there with the water flowing over the top, so we managed to turn early and we had a nice paddle, but it was challenging at times.
Nice on the downstream, although there was a really big headwind which I hadn't really felt on the way up, so there were some waves and we hadn't really realised why it was so wavy, and then coming back it was like, oh well, that's the headwind. So I think it was a good call. Again, that's one of the good things about having your partner and understanding your partner, is that we have a very similar risk appetite, don't we? Like, we know our limits.
The original plan was obviously to go up to Beverley, but we both decided that no, let's turn early. It's getting too swishy, too messy, and just I don't want to go swimming.
Still quite cold. Quite cold today. It's about 5 degrees, so not great. But anyway, we got out. We did some some good practice for tropical conditions on the Thames if it is in flood, and the tideway obviously. So
tried out my new CAG.
Oh yeah.
New kit from Rooster. I'm sure there are other brands available, but it was actually really nice. Can recommend them. I've got the Aqua Fleece with the cuffs. It was good. It was warm. I wasn't cold. Had to take my hat off at one point because it was too hot. Amber managed to lose her hat. Bless. So we've only got one waterside hat now.
I need a new hat, please.
Yeah. If anybody knows anyone who can get us a new hat.
So anyway, we've spent a bit of time this afternoon planning instead.
Planning.
So again, because we don't see each other that often, only really on the weekends for a few hours while we paddle, we thought we'd just spend a bit of time putting some lists together, things we need to do. Our first thing is torch. So the torch that we had in the last race wasn't that great.
It was okay, but
yeah, it was also a very dark year. There was no moon
Yeah.
in 2014, so it was a particularly hard year with the conditions and the lighting.
so potentially we're on the market for a new torch.
Yeah, so we're going to do a bit of research into that. Hopefully sort that out in the next few weeks so we can start doing some night paddles as well.
Yeah.
Again, we've just been looking at calendars, trying to work out with kind of work and working away, half terms and schools and things like that, like when we might be able to get a couple of extra paddles in. Again, like maybe some night paddles during the week. I'm going to try and work some logistics so I can come via Worcester on a trip up north for work. And then we're talking about our support crew as well. So
Still trying to finalise who we're going to ask. We've got the night crew sorted, but we've our previous crew have retired, bless them, the Dandos. They were 1 in a million. Didn't need to tell them what to do, so now we need to retrain a support crew, which could be interesting.
yeah, we've got a few friends in the pipeline, and again we were just looking at dates of actually maybe we can bring them out onto the Worcester Ring, try and get them,
See what they can do.
see if they end up in the canal. Hopefully not. Whether they can aim a jelly baby in your mouth, and
Yeah,
I guess give them a bit of a taster of what they're in for.
yeah.
See if they're up for it.
So that's it for this week, I think.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think so. We're done.
done some planning, done a little bit of paddling. Still getting a few niggles,
Yeah.
so
Off to the physio.
a baddie arm, but we'll get that fixed.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
We'll back out on the water next weekend, and then I think we've got a break weekend, haven't we? You've
Yeah.
got some socialising
I'm
to do.
doing a fit jam at Alton Towers. That should be good fun. And then back to paddling. So
Yeah, and then some serious paddling.
So, it was Steve, myself, John. We've come out to Tiverton to do our usual training this morning, and we had hoped we might be able to get through this ice, but Steve's just going to give it a little poke to show you now. We thought,
That's not too bad there.
yeah, it's not too bad here, but
Which is where we put in.
Yeah.
What I should say is that we've just been on the water, or should I say on the ice. We cleared down to, you probably can't see, but there's a cut through the ice a bit further up. And we ended up doing massive ice breaking drills with the boat, which wasn't doing the boat any good and wasn't very good for anything, frankly. We just came to a standstill, had to reverse up. So we reversed back, got some momentum up, and managed to crush through to the bank and get out of the bank without tipping in. A couple of lessons from that. Clearly, we should have anticipated the canal would probably be frozen. We thought it had warmed up a bit since yesterday. The temperature was up a bit yesterday, but obviously overnight it's cooled down. Maybe we could have paddled later today, but both of us have got other things on. So quite disappointing because we both have to travel to get here, and it's a sort of failed training attempt, which we're now going to turn into something else. So today won't be paddling, doing an endurance paddle, which was our plan, and we'll do something else. I'll probably go on the rower back at home and do something there, but obviously it's a bit of a blow given that we only get to paddle once a week together.
yeah, this is really, really frustrating. But you know, we are training in the depths of winter, and try and put a smile on it, Steve. We thinking about it. This is the first session we've not been able to do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We've managed to work our way around most things, but this is the first time we've just haven't been able to.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So I think
as frustrating as that is, as Steve says, we both travelled quite a way just to get here. It looked like we might be able to break through this, but
we did give it a go.
Yeah, we gave it a good go.
We did definitely give it a go.
You can see we went further around the corner there, and it just, as soon as we hit it, you could tell it was thicker than we thought, and it basically stopped us, didn't it, Steve?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we lost
and
all momentum, and you couldn't make a stroke.
Yeah.
So there's going to be absolutely no benefit.
no benefit, and I'd imagine if we did carry on, we're probably just going to damage the front of the boat there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think if it's like this in the future, lesson learned, it will be the river.
Hello, it's Monday morning. Just been to the gym and come home for a little bit of food prep. So we're hoping to have a long paddle on the weekend with some new support crew that we're training up, or giving them a test and seeing how they get on. So I thought I'd kind of prep a little bit of the kind of foods and things that we might have during the race, ready for the weekend, so we can get them used to the kind of foods that we'll want and need. So first of all, for our support crew, I've just dug out our very essential tray. Still got our number on from the last race, 319, good number. And in here, I've literally just popped a few essentials. So space blanket, spare hat, spare buff, a shoelace, and some cable ties, because pretty much anything can be fixed with a shoelace and cable tie in our world, so that's all good. So in there, I'm going to add a few of our kind of standard snacks and drinks. So you usually have the little bike holders on the side, so you can add some bottles in and have your bottles ready and prepped on the side of the tray, ready to switch over. So Adele has bottles in her buoyancy aid, whereas I have a Camelback, which is a bit more difficult, I find, to refill, because it has to be kind of taken out of the buoyancy aid, refilled and shoved back in again. So that does take a bit of time, but obviously volume wise, I can get more volume in mine than Adele would in one of her standard bottles. Some of the other DW vloggers have already described they've been using the gels. So I've got some of the Kendall mint. I'm not a massive fan of the mint, I must admit. I've tried it, I did a half marathon at the end of last year and tried it out. It wasn't great for me, but I've got a little bit left, so I'm going to use it on the training run and just see how I go again, give it another go. And then for my backpack, for my Camelback, I'll probably just have squash this time round. And then I need to get into kind of my hydration drinks and things. But I've got my electrolytes sort of sorted for sort of post-race as well. And then during the race, I probably usually have a bottle made up of just an electrolyte mix, just to mix it up a bit. So we probably start off with a squash from Devizes, and then we'd fill up with an energy drink at the first fill. And then as I go along, I probably just sip some of the electrolytes and water as well. I always have a bottle of water in the tray, just so I can just have something else, because after quite a few hours, you start getting quite sick of sweet things and sweet drinks. So it's nice just to have a bit of water sometimes. Adele and I are also a big fan of a cup of tea and a cup of coffee. We do tend to have hot drinks on the way as well, especially during the night. A bit of caffeine kind of kicks in if you're not able to take the kind of gels with caffeine. I find just having a bit of coffee or tea during the night and the early morning is really helpful. Basically, we end up having just a picnic along the whole way. We're out for a long time, you know. We're looking at sort of 28-30 hour kind of paddle. So we're going to take our time. We're going to eat as we go. So these are kind of some of the standard things that we're going to eat. So bananas, obviously, and actually satsuma is really good, nice and refreshing in your mouth. So bit of fruit, and then obviously jelly babies. This is a rather large pack of jelly babies. That usually gets me through a hockey season with my team, so it's not just me eating those. But again, buying in bulk is actually quite good. Obviously less packaging and things like that for the environment, so a big fan of that. And then I'm going to make some malt loaf later. So again, something quite heavy and sort of big sugary fruits and things like that, but a bit more easy to digest than really sweet things. And I've been trying to hone in my skills making some Florentines. So just really small kind of mouthful pieces of like dark chocolate. So I just picked up some dark chocolate, and we're going to use I've got flaked almonds, pumpkin seeds, toasted coconut kind of shredded little pieces, and then just some sort of sultanas or cranberries or something like that. So again, just little mouth-sized pieces just to pop in as we go along. So I think that's all we're looking at for this weekend for one of our long training runs. But obviously we'll start thinking about some of the other bits and pieces that we want to eat, more savoury things. So maybe little bits of pizza, hot cross buns, sandwiches sometimes, it depends. As I said, we like a little bit of a picnic as we go along. So we'll have quite a variety of foods as we go and change it up as you start getting bored of sweet things and chocolate. It's nice to have something savoury as we go. And then I guess the other one hot thing we'll have is usually at Dreadnought, we'll have a change at Dreadnought of our kit into our night kit, and hopefully our support crew will be there with something hot to eat, usually just a bit of pasta, and again a cup of tea or a cup of coffee to see us on our way from Dreadnought. So that's it for now. I better get baking.
Hi, it's Saturday afternoon. I've just finished work and the kids are going to go for a bike ride and I'm going to go for a run with them.
Everybody, Sunday the 18th of January. We've got Super Duper 1000 Mile Club Dad with us today as support crew. He's been helping us out. We've just done a little loop.
You might recognise him if you've raced before, the men with the moustaches.
Regularly down at DW.
Yeah.
He's got his orange coat on so we can spot him. Gives us a bit of a boost along the way.
And if you are racing this year, you might see him getting your tag. So look out for Mr.
Yeah.
Beta. Mr.
Smiler.
Beta. Dad.
Or Mike, or Dad, whichever you want to use. We've just done from Worcester out to Droitwich and then jumped on the Droitwich Canal through to Salwarp, and we've got up just before the river.
You're at Potter's Mill.
We're at Potter's Mill, yeah. So we've done about 14 miles.
It's very wet, rainy. Nice and warm though.
Yeah, not cold. No need for the rooster today. Not with some portage in as well.
The ice is gone, but the river's up.
Yeah.
So yeah, good session though. Boat went well.
Yeah, boat went well. We've had a few games along the way. I've stuck the portage diagrams to my hull. I've been quizzing Amber on all the portages for the route.
Yeah.
She got a couple wrong. I'm pretty disappointed in her. She's going to have to do her homework.
Some revision for me.
We've also had A to Zs of all sorts of weird and wonderful things.
Historical figures.
If anybody knows of a country beginning with X, let us know.
Yeah.
That's it from us too. Morning everyone, it's Monday the 19th of January, the day after our long paddle. I say long, it was 14 and a half. Today I absolutely ache like nobody's business. You'll see from the videos that we uploaded that I struggle to get in and out of the boat. My size doesn't help, but also I have problems with my knees. I've recently been diagnosed that I need new kneecaps. Thought I needed new knees completely, but now it's just kneecaps, so currently on the waiting list for those. So yeah, my portaging tends to be a little unique. I roll out and then end up in a mess, in some mud or anything else, and then I really struggle to pick the boat up. So Amber and I are doing some modifications to our boat. We're going to get some handles to try and make things easier for carrying, and also to try and take some of the pressure off for my knees. it's one of those things that you've just got to get on with, painkillers along the way, but then the next day I tend to suffer a little. So I think that's how I've managed to injure my arm, is probably really bad portaging and not having the power in my knees to be able to push to get myself out the boat. It's stuff that I'm working on. I'm starting to do some stretching classes and trying to do some mobility to try and get my joints moving better. But it's one of those things that we have to work around. Amber's fully aware that I'm not able to run the portages. We tend to do a jog or a shuffle, a lady jog we call it. We like to give things names. So we'll stick to lady jogging, and then hopefully we can manage to get through the 77 portages that we have to endure.